We're going live. Hey, we're live. Bonjour. This is Sylvie with Beautique. I'm the co-founder of Beautique NYC with Sonia. Sonia, who's not far and says hi too. This is my pleasure today to welcome Gabriela. I'm using my very French accent. Gabriela and Geoffrey. Hey guys.
Hello.
Hi.
So Gabriela and Geoffrey had the co-founders of a very, very nice lipstick brand that we fell in love with right away when we met actually Geoffrey back in December, I think 2019, you know, when before all that happened.
So long ago now.
Yeah, who could have said, right? Anyhow, the name of the brand is Madame Gabriela, which is a very, very cute name with a lot to say. There's a very intense history, although the brand is not very old at all. The history is very intense behind it. So I'm gonna let you guys talk about. I mean, we have a ton of things to discuss because it's a wonderful brand. But I want to start the discussion with you guys, asking how you two came together and decided to give birth to create Madame Gabriela that we know today.
You start, Geoffrey.
Well, so Gabriela and I worked together in different capacities, and we both grew up in families where lipstick was commonplace. I think we said at one point that lipstick was as common as milk and bread in our households, from grandmother's kisses to mother's kisses to whatever else. So I grew up on a very clean farm in Australia, and Gabriela is super chic, and we kept talking in France about how we just didn't see any clean, ingredient-driven lipstick brands at all. We searched, and it was a bit of a running joke. And now, then we decided, well, if we can't find that, maybe we should try and do it ourselves based on what we already know. So that's how it happened. We really just fell into it through a love of work and a love of enjoying life, and this is where it led us.
So you talk about clean, and this is a word that we hear a lot out there.
Yeah.
What does clean beauty exactly mean to you guys?
I think, yes, to your point, clean is sometimes overused. So when we started this journey, we really wanted to find a formula that didn't have any of the toxic ingredients known to the industry today.
Mm-hmm.
And we guided ourselves by following the cosmetic regulations of the European Union, because they do have a way more strict way of looking at ingredients and see what's good, what's not, what type of effects they may have on both the environment or on your body. So for us, there was the beginning was a list of, okay, all these things we just cannot have. So that's how we started. And then through that, there was a lot of education through our chemist as to how ingredients interact with each other, what it's needed to create a lipstick formula, etc. So we came with less than 30 ingredients that we have today, basically just with some amazing ingredients, and you won't find any of the petroleum-based formulas there, or parabens, or perfumes, or all those type of things that are on that extent list of no-nos. So that's what clean means to us.
Yeah, because this is such a central piece of the brand. I wanted to write off the bad start with this, but you talked about European regulation, you talked about your ingredients, and you two actually have a very international profile. And there's a couple of countries and cities that play an important role in the brand. There's Mexico City, obviously, where Gabriela comes from. There's France and Paris in particular. US, obviously. There's Sydney, Australia. Can you guys, maybe Gabriela, you can start with this Mexico, France,
Sure.
US.
Well, I am from Mexico, raised I'm born and raised in Mexico City. And then through life, I found myself living in France, in Paris, then working for companies that took me through many travels in Europe and South America, and I've been living in the US for a while as well. So I bring all those little pieces from different parts of the world into not just the brand, but everything in my lifestyle. So when I met Geoffrey, it's very similar. You know, he used to live on a plane before COVID, pretty much. So we was just always talking about experiences in different parts of the world, and we brought that into the brand for sure. And we're love for wanderlust. It's there. It's one of our brand pillars.
So Geoffrey, a little bit about this plane situation.
One thing I noticed from a more male mind when we started the brand was that most lipstick colors were named very feminine tones or moments, but not named after destinations as much. So to me, when I think of our travels, and we're both very traveled, Sydney, for example, to me is a very clean city. It's a very morning city, a very bright city. So we decided Sydney should fall into our nude category, and Sydney is best at 8 a.m. in my view, early in the morning with coffee and surf and whatever else. So we decided to make our different colors named after each city and what Gabriela and I considered the best time and place in those cities. And it's roughly the same time in each of those locations when you put them together. But so Sydney definitely, and then New York obviously because it's the New York moment. We've both had a lot of adventures in New York, and red obviously Paris because it's sexy, it's nightlife, it's Paris. So we named our red Paris. So that's how our travels, and also the ingredients actually, because our ingredients we source from all over the world. So we were very careful. You mentioned before what clean means and clean beauty. It's not just the formula, but it's the people behind the ingredients. So who's farming those ingredients? Who is a supplier? Are they fair trade? Is it in reputable countries, et cetera, et cetera? So we're kind of a worldly, small little company because we're from, not only Gabriela and I are from, but our ingredients and our suppliers and our supply chain is from a lot of places we love, but certainly all over the world.
So let's talk.
How we're inspired. If I close my eyes right now, it's like, where would I want to be? I mean, I would say Paris at 7 p.m. You sit down at a bistro and order a glass of wine and just you look at the city pass by. So all that wanderlust idea is part of the brand, like I mentioned before.
Yeah, totally. Hence the title of this event, lipstick that transports you to places. And this is not over, right? We're gonna visit more places with you guys soon. Let's go back to that different cities, different places, and the ingredients. Because in your ingredients story, you talk a lot about Manuka honey, which ingredients. So can you tell us more about this ingredient?
So my family have a bit of a history in honey. So the first ingredient we really wanted to use was Manuka honey, just because I personally knew that it was a superfood. It's anti-inflammatory. It's antibacterial. There's so many qualities to Manuka honey that make it more than just honey. And for those who don't know, Manuka honey is from New Zealand predominantly. It's from bees that pollinate around the Manuka tree. Predominantly in the South Island. So it comes from an incredibly clean, incredibly pure, natural source. But then the science behind it is that Manuka honey is incredibly good for you and really a different food type in itself outside regular honey. It really is quite incredible. So we decided that honey would be number one. And then the next stage of our process was finding what ingredients could work together with honey, because it's quite a interesting chemical composition to put with other ingredients to make it hard enough to be inside a lipstick tube, so it wasn't this runny mixture. And there's no other lipstick on the market that uses Manuka honey in the same way we do. And certainly in terms of cosmetics, many brands use Chinese honey, for example. The reason we use Manuka honey from the source, from New Zealand, hand collected, brought to Los Angeles, is just so we have, quite honestly, the purest Manuka we can find in the world.
Yeah, and you were telling me that you were having issues actually with COVID, bringing more. I guess you have enough supply to to manufacture for now, but this is how you guys do it, like with the very pure. You don't compromise with quality.
Well, also it's about slow beauty is about small batch beauty. So we looked at other suppliers, other manufacturers who may have had huge runs of 500,000 lipsticks, and some of those ingredients just sit in a factory for 2 years before they're put into the mixer to create a cosmetics. Where for us, having ingredients means having pure, fresh ingredients. So as fresh as honey can be, it shouldn't be sitting in a container for 2 years before you make it into a product. So there's a lot of steps and thought and research that's gone into our product before it even gets to the manufacturing process.
Yeah. How many years did you guys work on going back and forth with the lab?
Gosh.
I feel like it was 50, but no, 2 years, around 2 years from.
It does feel like more than that now. To Geoffrey's point, there was once we brought the Manuka honey, it was really interesting to work with the chemist as to what else could be in the formula that could work with the honey. So I think another ingredient to really highlight is avocado oil.
Yeah,
it's extremely, extremely good for your skin. That's why we're calling our lipsticks also skincare for your lips, because we have avocado oil and we have chamomile flowers. And lavender that are very soothing, and they have amazing properties as well. So all that synergy is what makes the formula what it is.
And there's that Australian-Mexican connection, the constant battle of who has the best avocados, right?
Which of course is Mexico.
Maybe.
Of course. And what, because you guys are really, really into clean. So what, in traditional lipstick, what type of ingredients do we find the most that you guys manage to replace with honey, avocado oil, and all? What type of ingredients that most of us don't know about are especially preservatives or for texture, for pigments? What are the red flags that you wanted to move away from?
So unfortunately, there's not one red flag. That's the problem. And I feel like consumers, for any product, not just lipstick, but any beauty product, you really need to take a good deep dive into, well, our website actually has many of these links on, but there is a whole litany of products and chemicals and additives that are used in everyday manufacturing that are actually very harmful for you. So it's easy for us to say, here is the top 3 toxic ingredients, and there are many toxic ingredients, but there's a whole list of them, and many of them most people won't pronounce because they're so lengthy. So cardamom is one that carmine is one that we were very adamant we didn't want in.
Petroleum.
Anything with petroleum, anything toxic, anything at all toxic. And I remember when we were talking to our chemist, she said that if you were to give your product to somebody who was a new mother or an expectant mother who was completely not able to have any toxic or chemical products at all, that same ethos should apply to any of your customers. And that's really the way I had looked at the ingredient list. Nice.
And what is for you, we talk about clean, there's a lot of misunderstanding around clean is like overused and nobody really knows what's behind. You gave a good definition, but how is that different from sustainability? Is that different from sustainability? How is it different?
I mean, sorry, Gabriela.
No, go ahead.
For me, sustainability was not, it's another buzzword that everybody's using in beauty, but for me, sustainability is about not just the product, but more so about the packaging and the supply chain. So the one crazy fact that I learned that Gabriela hadn't already known at this beginning was how much plastic, particularly from lipstick, is put into landfill. Millions and millions and millions of lipstick tubes a year are just thrown into landfill. So to me, sustainability was about the whole product, not just the actual lipstick. So we don't use plastic. We choose not to use plastic. So if we can avoid using plastic in packaging, in labels, in shipping, we won't use plastic. Our tube is made of recycled aluminium, and we have 99% plastic free. There's one tiny screw that's plastic, and our packaging is sustainable. So vegetable dyes, blue beauty safe boxes. We've really thought about lowering the amount of packaging material and making sure it's all up to the strictest standards we could find. So to me, that's sustainability. Yeah.
I want to start showing the product. So if you give me 1 sec. So while I'm here, I want to tell the our audience that if you want to ask Gabriela and Geoffrey questions, you can use the comment section in Facebook to post questions, and you can use the bottom right thingy on your screen if you are watching from our website. I'm going to share my screen now, and maybe I'm going to lose you guys, but I hope not, to show you actually the 3 shades of Madame Gabriela. So we have Sydney on the right, the nude. We have Paris in the middle, the red, sexy, and we have New York on the left, which is a intense pink. So 3 shades, and I'm using this opportunity to tell you guys that there's a special offer, and I'm gonna pull out the code JETSET20. So this is called the Jet Set. So the 3 shades that you can buy on our website for 20% off through the next few days. But those are the shades we've been talking about, and influencers and consumers have been raving about. So let's talk about this nude, Sydney at 8 a.m. That's been called like Pillow Talk, but organic and clean. Love this. Why is that so important to you guys?
I think, the Pillow Talk shade, it's a very iconic shade in the market today. So I think there's even a statistic of every 20 seconds, there's a Pillow Talk sold somewhere in the world. So it's definitely an icon shade worldwide. So when we launched our Sydney and we started putting it in the hands of customers, we started getting reviews saying, oh my gosh, this is just exactly like Pillow Talk, but organic, and I can eat it, and things of that sort. So for us, having that reference is definitely a highlight, just because it's very difficult to create pigment on clean and safe formulations. It's not as mainstream, obviously, and it's complicated. That's why it took so long. So all the work and all the effort that was put behind that, it's when you hear those customer reviews are just great, right? With that reference.
Yeah, you guys have a ton. But let's talk about that texture and the performance of the formula, because you did somehow I want to call it like it's a little masterpiece. So you guys managed, while using only supernatural ingredients, you managed to bring that texture and the performance really up to the highest standards. So tell us about it.
Through much trial and error and practice, I think is the answer. Is that right, Gabriela?
A lot of lip application for sure.
It was all about the ingredients working in synergy. So we really, with the chemists, we spent a lot of time substituting, adding. We had our first batch we created. We changed the amount of avocado oil versus honey, and we just went through a lot of iterations of trying to make it work. And that was really the perils, but also the reward of a bespoke product. It just takes a lot of time to put that together. There really isn't a secret. It just took hard work, really.
I think as a customer myself, I found difficult to find clean and safe formulas. So, and the few that I had tried in the past were extremely dry for me. And I started researching why. So that prompted a lot of conversation with the chemist and what the Manuka was bringing into the formula. So, like Geoffrey said, a lot of trial and error, and here we are. Yeah, really moisturizing formula.
And that's why you decided to bring in the avocado from Mexico, because that was the best one.
Avocado.
Allegedly.
Have a lot to do with it as well.
I know. So talking about drying the lips, now we have this little mask that we all have to wear, if not all day. Lipstick, lip balm, what should we be doing?
So, I mean, we've had some customers give us feedback about this. I think at first when COVID hit, we were a bit like, oh goodness, what happens? Everybody's wearing masks. But I think what's changed in the last at least 3 months has been people are looking for their Zoom moment to feel special on Zoom, like we are, except for me. So you both have, Madame Gabriela on. And also, lip balms are full. Many lip balms are full of very harmful ingredients, and the idea of really magnifying your lips, particularly from the sun's perspective, with a lip balm constantly, is actually quite harmful. So if you speak to dermatologists, there has been this resistance for a lot of people to keep using lip balms for months and months and months, as they have been, and go back to something that's more like skincare for your lips. So the texture of your lips and the makeup of lip skin is very different to the skin on your face. So the idea of having something that absorbs, that is very nourishing and very good for you, has resonated with people, which is why we've seen this push back towards lipstick versus lip balm. Although we did have a lip balm that we launched for a blink of an eye, but we sold out in nanoseconds for our lip balm, and it's the same ingredient list as our lipstick, but it's particularly Manuka rich because it's not, we took out the color, so we haven't got more back in stock, but we will post COVID when that ever ends. Absolutely.
Post COVID, okay. So because that was one of my questions, when is this wonderful lip balm going to come back? Here we have, I'm pulling out a question from Janice. I guess not talking about the lip balm, but the lipstick. Is it staying on with the mask?
I mean, it is staying on. I personally apply and use Sydney at 8 a.m. every morning. It's part of my ritual. And just
sorry, but when your lips actually looks like lip balm anyway, because you have quite
I have very deep, So it's my to go on a daily basis when I'm just here at home, and then you have to run out and use the mask for a few minutes. So yes, it does stay.
Yeah, and I can testify of that because I've been myself a user of this wonderful. I have New York at what is New York time? 6 p.m.
1 p.m.
1 p.m. Yeah, of course. Let's talk about the shades because you only have 3 shades. So I'm also bringing up the question from Estella. Why only 3 shades? Very unusual for a lipstick brand. We usually have like 1 million. Why only have 3 shades? And Estella is asking, are you going to launch new ones?
So the idea of 3 shades was really because we both like the idea of slow life or slow beauty, for want of a better word. So we'd met many brands that had 100 shades of lipstick and many consumers that would buy 20 shades of lipstick, but we have the same formula in 3 essential colors, which can be mixed together to create sub-colors. So the idea was never to be a brand, particularly because of sustainability, that has 1 million lipsticks floating around in someone's handbag. It was to be an essential range of essential colors that you use constantly, but never have missing sitting somewhere with 15 others. So the idea was to be a small number. 3 was our starting point. We had talked about doing 2 more potential colors. But other than that, the idea was never to be a 50 or even 20 or 15 color collection because they're interchangeable, and it's this conscious choice of making purchase decisions with things that really work, that you love, and not a mass item by any stretch. We want to be a loved item, not a mass item.
Quality over quantity. So that's our philosophy. So there will be more, but it's trying to go back to, do I really need 50 shades of pink when you can mix the nude with New York, Sydney with New York, and you get your own pink shade. So that's a little bit more of the philosophy as well.
The mixing is also very important. So so more shades to come, and eventually that also that wonderful lip balm of yours. After COVID? You guys are working on after COVID?
Wow. It's just important to have the right ingredients and not rush it. We need to bring so after COVID, well, when we can get into New Zealand, put it that way.
Yeah. Now we'd like to talk a little bit about you guys as the brand founders. So I'm saying one last time for our audience that this beautiful line is available 20% off So that's the jet set, the 3 perfect shades from Madame Gabriela that you can get and play with and mix and match as you want. 20% off, which is taking it down $20 because it's $102. So that's a steal, and you're not gonna regret that. I have it, and trust me, that's pretty much my go-to. So anyhow, before no, now that this is said, because we also have to do business in this world, let's talk about the business side of you guys and of Gabriela, because we can totally feel your love and your passion when you guys talk. So, question to Geoffrey: you're obviously a man, and you're part of a lipstick company, and that might very much inspire other men to say, why not? How did you come to be interested in lipstick, and what did you say to other men maybe who lost the job or I've been thinking about it, saying, no, I'll never go to lipstick because I'm a guy? What can you tell us about being a guy and being in
lipstick? The journey to lipstick wasn't really a journey to lipstick for me. It was a journey to ingredients. I grew up on a very big farm in Australia with avocados and bees and a million things before organic farming was a thing. My family were organic farmers. So to me, there was this moment where I realized that there's this wonderful world of ingredients out there for beauty, and then peeking inside the beauty industry to see that there was just so many myths, truths about beauty and what ingredients were in beauty, and in fact it was just marketing. There was no truth. So that's when my love for this came about. It wasn't, I've not been a makeup artist. None of that is in my past. It was more about the truth in beauty and the truth of good ingredients. That's where I really fell in love with this idea. And the more Gabriela and I spoke early on, the more I realized that this silent lover of lipstick was around me because of all my childhood and my kisses and whatever else that have involved lipstick. So it was really an ingredient love more than a lipstick love, but that's how. And in terms of inspiring other people to enter this market, I mean, to me, our partnership and our brand and our products has really been a labor of love. Like, this is a really wonderful experience for us and for me. I've enjoyed it thoroughly. So it doesn't feel like a job to me. So when someone says, is it so much work and et cetera, it doesn't feel like that. It just feels like bringing something that I already knew, the power of ingredients, to a different market.
And Gabriela, what you're not a man, obviously, so the question is slightly different for you. But what can you tell our audience about bringing a lipstick brand? I mean, this is very audacious and very brave from you guys, because there's so many lipstick out there, and you guys managed to create a new brand and put it on the map in so little time. So what is it? What does it take? And what advice did you give, I don't know, audience, whoever's thinking about, dreaming about doing the same thing?
Well, for me, lipstick was never a question of it, because, women, we vary on our makeup routines. Some women use a lot makeup, some of us not so much, but lipstick is always a staple. So in my mind, lipstick was it, and clean and safe was also a priority. So that was a dream. And in terms of advice, I would just say, just jump and do it. I don't think there's the right moment. If you feel it, then go with your intuition. And it's been a very exciting experience. We've been received in a great way by customers, community, whether it's the box vendor or the influencer. So they've been really embracing us in a very warm and nice way. And that's what we're looking for, right? So we're putting a good product in women's lips, and we can go and sleep at night happy. And it is a labor of love. So my advice will be, just jump and start whatever you can. That would be.
Yeah, but I also want to insist, because you guys are very modest, insist on the ton of research that you've been doing, The time you spend, like you said, submitting and resubmitting, don't compromise. I mean, it's hard work, and you guys do it wonderfully.
Yeah.
One quick question, because you have this very, again, I'm mentioning it because it's so important to me with French, but this international view, what difference can you tell us about when it comes to clean regulations? Do you think Europe is going to impact on the US? I mean, how is this happening?
Well, I mean, the US is incredibly behind in its regulations for beauty generally, but certainly for clean beauty and clean beauty standards. Europe is definitely in the forefront, but other countries as well, Australia, New Zealand, there's different places that have different regulations, but it's very much unregulated in America. Certainly California has more state regulations than in most of the states. So there isn't an international, a proper international recognized authority for clean beauty, but I think that's probably coming in some ways. There's such a movement now for clean products that are truly clean. When we started, when we bought and looked at clean products, there were many that said they were clean that were not really clean. So to me, I think the consumer wants regulation and wants brands that can live by the promise. So I think it's coming, but certainly Europe is definitely leading the charge right now. Yes.
Yeah. And on behalf of all the customers using your products, I want to thank you, because you're making good products that are safe, looking good, and also safe. And we have another of our makeup brands, Dome Beauty, that is exactly in line with what you guys do, and you guys know each other. So thank you guys for doing it. And maybe, brands like yours are going to help create new standards and make consumers also require, from all brands that the standards are met. So thank you for doing it. So I am done with all my questions, and I think we got a good grasp of who you guys are, the story behind the brand, the passion behind the brand. Again, I'm insisting on this super cool offer for you guys out there, 20% off for Sunday night. I extended a little bit because I feel we deserve a little bit of that. You want to say a few last words to our audience before we let everybody go on with their day?
Sure. Gabriela?
Thank you so much for the time. We have to be our own voices as women in requesting and demanding better products out there. So I encourage everybody to do so. And have a great afternoon. Thank you, everybody.
I think for me, the beauty of this brand for me has been when people have opened the product and tried it, and there's this idea of unexpected delight that they weren't expecting. I feel like lipstick somehow brings unexpected delight to people. So right now, particularly in the current situation, everybody needs a bit of unexpected delight. So I hope you find that with us or with whatever you're using at home.
Yeah, absolutely. And I was mentioning to you guys before we get live that we did a short survey on our community, and actually almost 50% of the people we surveyed keep saying that they're using lipstick every day, just for a touch of feel good, look good, even if it's for yourself, even if you're not on Zoom, just put that touch of lipstick. I think lipstick and mascara are the two things that we can keep to ourselves and make us feel good and look good, even if we have nobody to talk to. Let's do it for ourselves. So thank you very much to you. Thank you for making wonderful products like those that you're making, and the future ones you're going to work on. Thank you for being here today. Thank you, everybody, for attending. And if you have questions afterwards, obviously, Geoffrey and Gabriela are always here to answer. Feel free. Yeah. And we want to wish Sonia and I want to wish everybody a wonderful afternoon. And we'll meet you soon for another of those founder talks that we love so much. Au revoir, everybody.
Hey, guys. Bye-bye. Thank you.